Hello everybody, this is Galaxy Ninja 66, and my mouth is kind of moist, so you can hear a bunch of kind of sounds, I guess. But this is a comparison of the Sailfish OS ports on the two, I think these are actually the two only, besides the 2011 Xperia series, which I don't remember who ported that, but great work on that. Those are really stable. But these are also really stable. These are the two two of the three kind of main QWERTY keyboard devices with solid Sailfish OS ports. I think just Sailfish OS ports in general. I think there is one HTC QWERTY device that has a Sailfish OS port, but it isn't very stable. So I'm just going to turn these on. Right off the bat, let me get them the same wallpaper. See, it's Commonwealth funding and it is the payment of fags. Thought that was kind of funny. Let's get intense. Alright, so, right off the bat, the display, because it's on the front of the device, it's the first thing you see. The Droid 4 has a slightly smaller 4-inch display than the Photon Q, which has a 4.3-inch display, which, if you put those together, yeah, the difference is noticeable even when you're not using them side by side. Totally noticeable. I used the Droid 4 Sailfish OS port for about 3 weeks because the Italian post is garbage for my Photon Q, and it's night and day. The port, the software itself, phenomenal on both devices. The Droid 4 has a handful of bugs that might be a deal breaker for some people, but the Photon Q and the Droid 4, like just the ports in general, very rock solid compared to a lot of devices. I mean, granted, there are a lot of devices that have perfect ports, but these two are pretty good. It's always nice to have another perfect or really good, stable at the very least, Sailfish OS port. So, right off the bat, you'll notice the two displays, the colors on both. So, for some reason, you're getting kind of a backlight bleed. That is not what it looks like. That's not very true to life. It looks, you'll see it on the black. So if I go at this angle, it'll show kind of a bleed there. But that's not what it looks like in real life. It looks pretty good. Viewing angles on the Droid 4, let me check on the Photon Q. Viewing angles are actually very good. I mean, in general, if you have the money to spend, I'm going to say it right now, get the Photon Q. SIM modded, of course, do not forget SIM modded. CDMA, not going to work on Sailfish OS. Voice is the only thing that works over CDMA. It's not even tested on the Droid 4. Because, I mean, let's be honest, you're not going to be using Sprint on the Photon Q. I don't even know if Sprint supports the Photon Q. But we're looking at a price difference of about $50 to $100 US. So, yeah, and shipping, definitely. You can get this like 3 days in the US if you live in the US. This one, you're going to be waiting a couple weeks. Minimum. But anyway, let's get back to the displays. I've been kind of trailing off. Again, backlight bleed, that's not present in real life on the Droid 4, unless you're like really tilting it. What you'll notice is the two colors. They display colors differently. So, I'll actually turn the brightness on both. Let's get them at the same level, so in that kind of middle. The Photon Q display is actually brighter than the Droid 4 display is brighter than the Photon Q display. And it shows more realistic colors. The colors on the Photon Q are very warm, which I prefer it that way. I like it. It's a lot easier on the eyes when I'm watching at night. You can definitely tell with this one wallpaper. Yes, that is actually what it looks like in real life. I'm looking at the video right now. That's what the difference looks like in real life. This is all yellowish. This is all whitish. And I don't know, actually. This might be more realistic with the colors. With warm colors, this is more realistic, more vivid, and then with more blue colors, this is more realistic. So I'll set another same wallpaper on both of them. That kind of showcases this. I'd say the Affection wallpaper actually really shows the differences. So as you can see, this one's like a lot cooler on the Droid 4, and then on the Photon Q, it's a lot warmer. So let's just look at that Photon Q one. And I'm sorry for the shaky camera work. I'm recording this on my Nexus 7, which, again, also runs Sailfish OS. I'm trying to get it where all my devices run Sailfish OS, and they kind of do. I don't really count my zoom because I broke the volume keys on it trying to replace some parts on it. And I can't find any of the parts for the volume keys anyway. But let's just switch to a different wallpaper, which I'm going to maintain for the rest of the video. Because I can't imagine how boring it is watching me change wallpapers on these devices. Nope, dang it, I want to get the Sailor wallpaper. There we go. Alright. Perfect. So now let's get to processor speed, because I'm not going to focus on each of these devices individually. I'm going to just kind of compare them. The Droid 4 has a TI OMAP 4430, which totally respectable. It's actually aged very well. I like the OMAP processors. They're good for battery life in my experience as compared to Snapdragon processors, and they often don't really heat. My Kindle Fire, which had an OMAP 4460, rarely overheated. some people's overheated, but you rarely get overheating as compared to Snapdragon processors, which do heat up, especially the S4 Pro. I know because my Nexus 7 has an S4 Pro, and it heats up. This one has an S4, it heats up. My Razer M had an S4, it heated up. I think it might just be the S4 Pro, but this phone can get hot if you're really running stuff on it. My Droid 4 never had that issue, even with Alien Dalvik and stuff, which is another thing. Droid 4 has Alien Dalvik, Photon Q does not have Alien Dalvik. Alien Dalvik for the Photon Q is being worked on, but do not ever hold your breath on an Alien Dalvik port happening for your port device. Do not ever hold your breath on that. Alien Dalvik is pretty finicky to port. On the Droid 4, as far as I know, they just put in some missing libraries, patched the /op/alien folder, and it was pretty much set. Anyway, let's kind of do some speed things. Now, the two cameras, hardware-wise, they're totally fine. And you'll actually see this one, they open at about the same time, which is cool about Sailfish OS. It kind of evens the playing field. This one's camera does open sooner, and it's more stable. Sometimes on videos on this, it freezes up. But the camera on this one, they're both 8 megapixel, but no, don't record that. They're both 8 megapixel, and they take pretty okay shots. I'm not going to say that you're going to be winning any photography competitions with these. My 1+1 camera was better, but it didn't have a keyboard, so I didn't really want to use it. Once you go QWERTY, you don't go back. I think that's something anyone watching this can agree with if you use both of these devices or one of them. Yeah, the camera on the Photon Q, in my opinion, is better, but it's not better by a lot. So if camera's a deal breaker for you, it doesn't matter which one you use. What I got on there? Tweetian, wow. So I got anything on here? No, so open the thing. Alright. Let's see the back. So I guess for a lot of people, speakers would be a thing. The speakers, I mean, they're equally, I'm not going to say they're good, they're equally average. I guess by today's standards, they're pretty shit. I'm not going to lie. I don't really care. I play most of my music through headphones. The Photon Qs are a little better. Again, not by a lot. Like a lot of the hardware things that are better on the Photon Q are not better by a lot. It's the software that really shines. And that's another thing. So, if I go on both devices, and as you can see the flashlight shortcut, it takes, no, I don't want to internet share. It takes longer to start up on the Droid 4 than it does on the Photon Q. You notice this one will turn on like it's on, but it takes a few seconds. That's just like minor things like that. Now, oh yeah, because I don't have a SIM card on here. If you turn on Bluetooth, so both of them will turn on, and that's great and all, except the Droid 4, let me just go back here to both respective Bluetooth menus. The Droid 4 does not have a Bluetooth MAC address, and therefore can't really pair with anything. So it's got a Droid 4, and if I search for devices, let me just, I got my speakers here. Oh, God. Sorry, I'm like messing with these speakers here. You're going to hear them turn on, they're fucking annoying. All right.
Enter to Bluetooth.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, so, let me just stop searching. Oh, there. So it showed up, and I'm actually going to try to pair that. If it works, that'd be really cool. That'd mean Bluetooth works, and my Droid 4 might actually sell on eBay. Okay, so try pairing with that.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay, always allow connections from this. Yeah, close. So it's connected. Let me actually test that in this video. Like, why not? If it works, that's awesome. If Bluetooth is suddenly working, that'd be phenomenal for multiple reasons. So let me just... why did I open the regular Spotify? Why didn't I open the cute spot? You know, I'm not going to wait for Alien Dalvik to start up because I closed it. So... Close that, and let's open cute spot. So let's do this one. Ah, damn it. See this, I love...
Bluetooth cancelled.
Ah.
Bluetooth connected.
Fuck. That, you can understand why these speakers annoy me, so let me try that. Does it work?
Music.
Oh, wow. So, Bluetooth audio is working on here. Let me see. Okay, well, I'm looking at if this has a Bluetooth MAC address, which would be fucking awesome. Let me just look at the Photon Q. So, Bluetooth on the Photon Q works perfectly fine. It has a Bluetooth MAC address. Wi-Fi works, data works. Everything, I mean, the Photon Q port, totally stable. I can't find any issues with it, besides, the lack of Alien Dalvik, which you're going to see Android support here. It does not work. So if I start it up and let me press start, nothing will happen. It'll just sit there. Whereas on this one, it does have working Alien Dalvik. So there's no Bluetooth address. So it's paired just fine, though. That's really interesting. So I'm just going to plug this in my speakers. So you're going to hear them shout again.
Enter aux in playing.
Okay. Oh, we got that out of the way. Let's turn off Bluetooth on this device. Yeah, see, so Alien Dalvik didn't even turn on. Bluetooth on this device. So GSM works totally fine on both devices. If you plan on using CDMA, don't use Sailfish OS. And I would love to personally work on a CDMA Photon Q Sailfish OS port, but it's just, it's not going to happen. You know, I don't even think Sprint supports this phone, like I said, and if it does, I don't think enough people are going to be using Sprint on their Photon Q for it to matter, and the type of people who are probably not into flashing custom stuff. Battery read, you'll see on the Droid 4, it has not moved from 70, and no, the battery life is not fantastic on the Droid 4. They're pretty much the same, actually, in the battery life department, the exact same, and again, you're going to see that color difference here. A lot warmer on the Photon Q. So this one has a problem, so it'll only read the battery in 10% increments, which personally, I actually kind of enjoyed. When I got used to it, and when I switched to this, I was seeing my battery drop 1% at a time. I'm like, oh my god, the battery's so much worse. But no, it's just that I'm actually seeing the battery drop. On here, it's like, you know, you just don't really know. It's like, oh, you know, it's at 60 something. When it hits 70%, it reads 70. So whenever it says 70 or 80, it's at like 60 something or 70 something. So, let's open an app that might actually take a while to load. Oh, QuickDit. Prostagram. I know the actual Android Instagram client is. Did I start QuickDit? Ah, no, I didn't. That sucks. So I'm going to redo that because I didn't do it very well. QuickDit actually takes a bit to load, but Prostagram on both devices works pretty well. So open those. So a bit faster on the Photon Q, and that's actually probably a really great way to describe it. A bit faster on the Photon Q, a little bit better on the Photon Q. And on this Bluetooth, or the slide-out keyboard, supposedly it lights up. I applied the patch to the 2.1.3.7 that makes it light up. But that's actually, I don't know if I didn't do it right, or you have to set minimum brightness. Let's see if no, god dang, let me set minimum brightness. So let me try that. Keyboard is not lighting up. But in 2.1.0.11 it was lighting up just fine. Oh, and it does rotate landscape, both devices do. I think, is this orientation locked? No, it is not. This has a problem, and it was on the Photon Q for a bit, where you have to turn it off, go to the lock screen, and sometimes it just won't rotate. So if I go here and I rotate to portrait, it will probably, yeah, it'll rotate back just fine, but sometimes it just won't update. This one I had to apply auto rotate patch to. Oh, another thing, the buttons on the Photon Q, so much better than on the Droid 4. The Droid 4 buttons are totally usable, but these are the power buttons. It's mushy. Like, it has travel, just not a lot. And then the volume keys, they're also mushy. Like, they have click, they click. They're also mushy. And this is missing a camera button, whereas the Photon Q does have a camera button. And yes, it works. They both have micro SD card slots. The Droid 4 has a nano SIM slot. This one does not. I had to buy one with one pre-installed. Get on that. I paid about an extra $150 in total for that SIM card slot. Totally worth it, by the way. I love the Photon Q. It's a great device. But I guess in a nutshell, in a conclusion of this entire video, Photon Q, if you have the money, buy it. If Alien Dalvik is a deal breaker for you, though, and you need that QWERTY keyboard, get a Droid 4. So yeah, thanks for watching, and shout out to Hernandez Jonathan 21 on XDA. He's the reason I made this comparison video, because he said, or they, or ambiguous gender said that they had never seen a Photon Q in real life before. So here's a good comparison video for you, Hernandez Jonathan 21, whatever your name is. Spanish, white guy, I don't know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm going to work on getting a better camera eventually. So yeah.